Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
I always forget to hit the right button. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. I'm wearing one of my favorite dresses. It is like so cute. I love it so much. Also, I'm having my favorite drink, of course. I'm a creature of habit. And I hope that you guys are doing well today. I made this ice this morning. You know I'm pretty on the ball when I'm making ice in the morning. That's my theory anyways. I hope that everybody's doing well. All right, that's poured. The lid is on. Hi, guys. Thanks for being sweet and kind and making me feel nice. Boy, was I busy today recording court. I was just literally beyond busy. Beyond busy. Recipe for ice, yes. You know, Wahoo, sometimes I use hot water. Sometimes I use flat fizzy water because I'm notorious for opening a bottle of fizzy water and then I forget to put the lid on proper and then it goes flat. And so sometimes I do that. Sometimes I freeze it and I intentionally get it early so that the ice cubes are hollow in the middle and they're fragile, and I take those sort of like shards of ice and I put them in my drink. I could go on. I mean, these are the free options everybody has at their house right now with the standard ice cube tray. Don't even get me started on little ice cubes, crunchy ones. I am sort of obsessed with ice. My ex-husband bought me an ice maker many years ago, but it didn't taste very good. The ice didn't taste good. I think that's something to do with the filtering or something like that, but lessons learned. The ultimate indulgence for me, I'm serious, this is an ultimate indulgence, to buy a bag of ice from the Walmart or or if I go to the liquor store to buy liquor, they give you free ice at some liquor stores, but I don't do that very often. Anyways, so that is like my ultimate indulgence. It's not very often, but sometimes it's like, oh, summertime is created via good ice, a cold Coca-Cola, sitting on the deck, in the sun. Oh. And there's like a whole version of Ice Talk or TikTok, you know what I mean? Like that lives on TikTok. And there's people that make like all these different kinds of ices. I don't do that. But yeah. Oh, also, where's this cup? This takes an entire tray. This is a full ice cube tray full of ice, which seems a bit nuts to me, to be honest. Anyways, boil water in advance. Put it in the freezer for later. Does that make it clear? You know, there are places in New York where they sell ice, and it's very expensive. It's very expensive. It's bougie ice. A bougie ice. There's like a business, you know, Business Insider. Do any of you guys ever get deep down the rabbit hole of Business Insider, where they are explaining like the mechanisms of a business or something like that, and you're just like, Why do I need to know how this New York delicatessen gets its ice? But I fucking do. I do. I can't stop it. Um, anyways, Business Insider lives rent free in a portion of my mind and often pops up on my YouTube algorithm. YouTube daddy, he's like, come on, girl. Come on, girl, be a corporate girly. Be a corporate girly. And I say, no. No. Put a gambling video on and let me watch some court. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to watch some court. My roommate just yelled at me from the other room. He said, calm down, something. Probably home fry or something like that. Anyways, hi, Billy. Adam, I'm drinking out of this cup purely for aesthetics. It makes me feel nice. Literally. That's the only reason I'm using this cup. And as I've gotten older in life, there are fewer and fewer things that make me feel nice. Almost everything is a bit of a grind. So the fact that I've found a cup that makes me feel nice, shit, son. This is the little things. These are the little things. The fact that my sister gave me it, even better. I would never buy it for myself. I would look at this cup and say, oh, I want that. And I would maybe innately know that it would make me happy, but I would never buy it for myself. But luckily my sister has no such qualms. She has like 10 of these and gave me one. Okay, anyways, we have to go to this screen here because suffice it to say, I was so busy, I recorded this one on my phone, but I think that it'll work. So, down we go. It's a little less quality, but it's as good as I could do. So, this case, you guys, wild twists and turns. Absolutely wild. I just want to prepare you. I don't want to spoil anything. So let's just get down into it. Enjoy.
It was signed by
shaking your head or nodding. That doesn't record no ahas or ahs. You are in a formal courtroom, so I need more formal yeses and nos. The second part of the recording
Bill,
issues, as I told you.
I'm not on this has been uploaded onto my computer. My phone is right here. It is doing other things. No, I successfully did this up here onto the computer. Even though it's a 30-minute video. How amazing am I? Amazing. All it took was making a new email address, so I had a new G drive.
We were live streaming on YouTube. Just so that you are aware, the courts are required to be open to the public under the Constitution. It's an open courts requirement. We did that for forever while we were sitting in courtrooms everywhere. People walk in and observe proceedings, even if they weren't there for their own cases. That was allowed, and that was our obligation to be open. However, when COVID hit, Zoom court appeared. They set this up as a way to continue business since we couldn't get to our courtrooms. And so because of the open courts requirement, they set up the live stream on YouTube as a way for the public to still be able to watch proceedings in courts. So that happened for a while. COVID ended. The child support courts have been allowed to continue on Zoom. So we still have the requirement of being open to the public. And right now, that's still the way we're handling it by live streaming on YouTube. It's a long explanation, but I want you to understand that is a big deal. We're on the internet. Don't blurt out your home address, your social security number, your cell number, something you would not want out there identifying you. If you stay at it, I can't take it back, just so you're aware of all that. The last part of the recording issues is do not record. It would be considered in violation of our laws, subject to contempt of court, punishable by a fine and or a jail sentence. That does apply to anyone here in the courtroom or anyone outside observing in. So of all the recording issues, Ms. Olivares, do you have any questions or concerns about any of them?
No, ma'am.
And you are consenting to go forward on Zoom today?
Yes, ma'am.
And just so you're aware, there's a couple more people that aren't participating in your hearing. They are in the courtroom. They happen to be staff of the Attorney General's office and my court coordinator. They're allowed to be here since they're helping manage our docket today. So let's proceed. Ms. Nichols for the state, if you'd go ahead and announce yourself and give you an opening, including background on how we can default Mr. Ramos.
This is Assistant Attorney General Mary Nichols representing the state of Texas. This is a default hearing on a motion for modification and confirmation of arrears. We have an order modifying support from, let's see, from 2021. It was signed by the court on January 20th, 2021. So I'll ask the court to take judicial notice of that order.
I'll take said notice.
All right. Child support was set at 0 because at the time the parties were living together, but there has been a material and substantial change in circumstances warranting a modification of child support to guideline. So, and the state would like to take judgment on arrears, which I've sent the document to the court. The state moves to admit that as State's Exhibit 1.
Is that the pay record?
Correct.
State's official pay record, the state's one. Well, when you, I'll admit it after I get a look at it or open it in my emails or screen share, whichever way you prefer.
Sure. Okay, so as to a service and notice, Mr. Ramos was served on, the service was executed on January 2nd, 2025. And it was that service document was filed January 16th, 2025. And then notice of today's hearing was sent to Mr. Ramos on February 19th, 2025. And the notice of court proceeding, it had the right Zoom meeting ID, the right date, the right time. So that's where we are.
Okay, was the only exhibit you sent me by email was the pay record?
Correct.
If you don't mind following it up with citation, so I can look myself, I just prefer to do that since I'm the gatekeeper here. So
Sure, I can do that right now.
Okay, I have no doubt that you're correct as an officer of the court. However, I'll look at it in a minute as it's sent.
And I think for Caldwell County, you can't even look at the records online, so.
Oh yeah, there's that too. So I have to rely on y'all to show me my court file.
All right, so I'll just send it in the same email thread, okay?
Wonderful, that would be fine.
Okay.
However, you can go ahead and proceed after you get that send button hit with her testimony. I'll look at it as we talk.
All right, done. Sent.
Okay.
All right, Miss Olivares, will you please state your full name for the record?
San Juanita Olivares,
What is your child's name?
Jared Ramos,
And who is his father?
Salvador Ramos III.
Right. The last order we have in your case, what was child support set at?
I honestly can't even tell you because it was never paid even when he had a support.
Well, the last order modifying, what did you do about child support?
Oh, I basically waived the arrears and I set it at 0 because we were living together and trying to make things work.
Are y'all still living together?
No, ma'am.
What has changed since that last order?
Maybe 2 months after that last order, I had to kick him out of my house for drug use, and we have not seen or heard of him since.
That turns out not
Has
to
he been
be
providing
as
any
true.
financial
Hold
support
on,
for the-
ma'am. Hold on, please. That turns out not to be as true. Oh, I'm letting you guys know right now. We have 2 cases on the docket tonight. They are both unique. This one sounds like it's not. I understand that. Just wait. The twists and turns. But just to let you know, we have 2 cases tonight. They're each about 30-35 minutes. This being the first. So it should be very simple. This is a default order. Default. That means one party has been properly served and hasn't shown up. They don't really get much of a say. And so, why is it going to take 30 minutes? These are the questions we have. I almost stopped recording this at this point. Just so you know. I was just like, oh, I want to use my phone. I want to use my phone. Because my computer was also recording something else. Whew. But I kept with it.
For the child?
Not at all.
How does your child have health insurance?
He has Medicaid provided through the state.
Do you have access to private health or dental through your job or through any other source?
No,
You know whether dad has access to that?
I don't know.
Do you know what he's doing for work?
I believe he's doing odd jobs.
Do you have any idea how much money he's making?
I don't.
Would you have any concerns for your safety if dad knew your contact information?
Yes.
Tell the court what those concerns are.
My concern is the trauma. We're dealing with post-relationship trauma. There's been a lot of things that happened with my son's father and the rest of my family where he may be fathering another child, but we're not sure because there's no paternity. But it may be with my maternal cousin. And so we still kind of
So you can see why I was really glad that I didn't stop recording when she just busted that out. It gets fucking crazier. It gets crazier. But let's just hear her say that again.
Do you have any idea how much money he's making?
I don't.
Would you have any concerns for your safety if dad knew your contact information?
Yes.
Tell the court what those concerns are.
My concern is the trauma. We're dealing with post-relationship trauma. There's been a lot of things that happened with my son's father and the rest of my family where he may be fathering another child, but we're not sure because there's no paternity. But it may be with my maternal cousin. And so we still kind of hear about him here and there and stuff like that, but he's not in any way, form, shape is he trying to support his only biological son that he actually has to financially support at all in any means. There honestly, it's just been a loss. I'm here trying to get back on the ball with child support just to say that I have established something and I've tried something.
Has dad ever threatened you before?
Yes, verbally, emotionally. I've felt it all from him.
When did that happen?
Well, the last time we were together, it was back in 2021, where he was being physically, emotionally distraught, where I had to kick him out of my house. He was being violent in front of our kids. He was being just irrational in front of our kids. I'm like I said, I have to total up to drugs because that's not the person I once knew. But yes, it came to the point where I just had to let him go because I was scared for anything crazier to happen.
Um, was he enacting physical violence?
Yes, he actually dislocated his own collarbone and shoulder in act of violence around the exact same time that I kicked him out.
Did he ever hit you?
No, I mean, not to where he actually met contact with me.
Okay, but he was hurting himself.
Yes, he was hurting himself and he was throwing things. Somebody could have easily been hurt if we weren't sheltering ourselves, you know?
What kind of threats did he make against you?
He threatened to take my kids. He threatened to break into my home and steal the kids, even though he only has one biological kid with me. He did help raise my daughter, and he threatens a lot that, he'll take her from me as well. So it just kind of scares me. It just scares me that even though I feel like he wouldn't do that, he's still making those threats to where I still live in fear, thinking, any day if he does find out, he will come.
Does he know where you live right now?
Um, not that I know of.
Would you prefer to keep that private?
Yes.
Does he have your phone number?
Yes, it hasn't changed in the 10 years that my son has been born.
If it changed in the future, would you be concerned if he had access to it?
No, because I don't believe in severing ties of communication.
Mm.
I mean, I know that that's his father, and I know that at some point we do need to talk about our son. So I've never severed lines of communication with him. He's able to get a hold of me. I'm just not able to get a hold of him.
Would you have any concerns for like harassment or threats if he knew your phone number in the future, like if you changed it?
Yes.
What about your email address?
Yes, that's how he communicates with me if he does try. And the last time I got an email from him was over a year ago. And that's just how I don't know why he emailed me, or, like I said, my number hasn't changed or anything. Maybe he forgot it, but the email, I guess, kept in his email, and he emailed and reached out to me, but I
Has
didn't reply.
has he ever threatened you over email before?
No.
Do you think he would?
I don't think so. I don't think he would word for word type it out.
But over the phone, he might threaten
Yes.
you. And no further questions? I'll pass the witness.
Tell me how old your child is, Miss Olivares?
My son is 10 years old.
Okay, and you said you had a daughter. Is she older? Yeah.
Yeah, she's younger. She is about to be 9 next month.
Okay. Okay, we start off with the premise, or the law does, that parents should know where their kids are. However, there are situations where things are so bad, that includes family violence, that we shouldn't publish addresses in the court orders so they can find you and harm you. However, you've said a little bit of both, that well, mainly physical, not physical, but mainly verbal and emotional. But the physical was actually more than 2 years ago.
Yes. That's when we removed ourselves from the whole situation. He was living with me in my home with my kids, and he hurt himself to the point, like I said, he dislocated his own shoulder, his own elbow, and I, in fear, still took him to the hospital. And I actually dropped him off at the hospital because I was so scared. I was scared that he was going to blame it on me because he was mad. We were having an argument, and he was angry at me, and then where he physically hurt himself.
That you're saying this was 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
And since then, has there been anything anywhere close or worse?
No, ma'am. I have not seen him in person since then.
Okay. The email he emailed you a year ago, there was no threats in there, you said?
No, ma'am.
And prior to the year ago, has he been emailing before that?
Um, every periodically, like he'll email me like maybe once a year, honestly, and I notice it's usually around holidays where I feel like maybe he's just depressed, and he just simply asks, "How are the kids doing?" But I don't reply. I just don't reply, honestly, out of fear. Out of fear, I don't reply. I just don't want to. To me, it's just like anything I can say, he will lash out.
Okay, but you pretty much were pretty fierce about saying he needs to have my phone number and even my email.
Yes,
I can communicate
yes.
with that.
But
So
it's not pertaining to anything about, picking up his son. It's not talking about, it's kind of more conversation, judge, like he wants to have conversation with me, and it's not about the children.
I can see where you want to avoid that, or avoid him thinking he has any control over you, or avoid letting him say anything awful. I get all that, and whatever, if you respond, he might respond back. However, I'm trying to figure out if the law allows me to protect you by not revealing your address. I mean, you've already said you're okay with the,
I know that there are like apps we can use that are monitored. I'd feel safe if I could use an app through the court that would be monitored. that would make me feel safe.
That's a
Like
tool
I
to
said,
give you in the order, and it's not through the court. It's a private entity that provides it for free at a certain level if you want higher, better quality or whatever. I mean, it's still good. We use it all the time. People use it, tell me it's great. However, it's not the one you have to pay for. There's higher levels than that. So you would want that in the order.
yes, ma'am.
App close. However, again, he knows your email. Are you going to change it?
No, ma'am, it's my working email.
And if there's an emergency of some kind and you want to let him know about your child, you have his number?
No, ma'am, I don't have his phone number. I just have the same email that he's had for many years as well.
Well, I'll
And
just tell you
when
the same
the
email.
last time I did tell him about our son's medical diagnosis, he, like I said, the thing is, he'll verbally attack me. He blames my son's autism. He blames my son's ADHD on my parenting. I'm sorry.
Well, we know that's not true and that doesn't happen that way. However, I get that he's not being very nice.
Yeah, I just feel attacked anytime I try to reach out to him, even when it is an emergency about our son. I will call everybody else.
Well,
I
even
will get a hold of everybody else before him.
at any point in time, have you had to pick up the phone and call police?
I did when he actually brought a constable to my door, to have me arrested for contempt, basically, of keeping the kids away from him. And the officer actually sided with me because he could tell he was on drugs that day. And the officer told me he still had to do his job and take me to jail. So I just asked the officer, can I get some shoes? And so I let the officer into my home so I could get some shoes on. And that's when Sal was jumping around on the porch, got into his car and just sped off. And the officer ended up saying, you know what? Well, if he's the reason I came out here to get the kids and he left, then I don't have a reason to be out here. And he just kind of left. And I was grateful for the cop being there. I mean, he brought the cop that day, but at that point, I was ready to call another cop to basically say, like, is this right? Is what is happening right? Like, am I really going to have to go to jail just for keeping the kids?
I don't
Because they
understand
had,
why usually the police do not get involved in civil matters, especially if there's no court orders. And if you had
yeah,
court
see, and they
custody,
had the court order in hand that day. And I just complied and told myself, if I have to go to jail for keeping my kids away from someone who's abusing drugs, then I'll go to jail, because even at that, I'll leave my kids in
okay,
the care of my mom.
he knows your address or he knew the address where he took the police officer to. Is that the same
Yes,
address you're
ma'am.
at now?
No, ma'am. I actually sold that mobile home.
Uh-oh, what's happening? Something's buffering. Well, in the meantime, let's talk about this case so far. So we have him. She said he never came to get the kids, but he did show up with the police to get the kids. I'm a little perplexed about that. Plus, she was gonna call the cops on the cops. That's a little crazy too.
Officer too. Is that the same
Yes,
address
ma'am.
you're at now?
No, ma'am. I actually sold that mobile home.
Oh Lord, why? Why did we get set? Oh, why did we get 17 minutes into it and then it fucks up? Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned anything at all. Well, let's give it one moment. Hi, Reseller Road Trip Adventures and the court order. Thank you for the reminder of that. The good news is, while that's thinking. I can actually play the other video, I guess. Why is it doing this to me? Something looks... I don't know. So, hi Carol, that's okay. Something got fucked up. Something got fucked up, but that's okay. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. I will work on having the rest of that as soon
You
as
said
possible.
244?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, we
Well,
gotta
let 'em ask, come
switch. So
pull
I
that
had
out.
set that one up for the phone video. We have to switch. Sorry, we have to switch. We have to switch. We have to switch. We have to switch. Sorry. Now, this case, you guys, the judge says is basically one of the craziest, like, he's only seen happen a couple times in his life on the bench. So that's a pretty interesting, unique place to be. So, apologies for the mistake or the fuck up, but let's watch this.
Don't see any twos up. Yeah, I got 1, 2 up here, but that's not it. All right, be just a moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Your Honor, also, I am sorry that I'm moving quickly on this. I've emailed maybe a minute or two ago to Miss Molina the pay record.
Okay.
She probably hasn't had a chance to print that either.
Okay, once she gets it, prints it out and brings me the file, we'll get started. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me just flip to my notes of this case because I'm pretty sure I wrote down the start time. I didn't. Oh, look at Melissa. Looking off in the distance.
Bell County, Texas.
Oh, hold on, Judge.
Court this
I'll
time
be
is
able-
calling Bell County calls number 244,772. This is in the 146th Judicial District Court of Bell County, Texas. And this is in the interest of Lee minor children. Non-custodial party is Robert Edward Lee. Custodial party is Melissa C. Davis. And this is before the court on a motion to sue for modification of child support and motion to confirm arrears. Court will know for the record that both parties were served back in, looks like May or June of last year. My understanding is Ms. Davis is present. Mr. Lee did file a written response alleging that one of the children was now living with him, but I'll let the state and the mom tell me at this point what the state and the mother are requesting at this time, and whether or not one of the children living with the father. Again, I'll get that information and we'll figure it out. So at this time, I'll ask for that opening, Mr. Diamond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have not addressed the issue with Miss Davis, whether or not the children are living with him, or one of the children. But I'll ask her those questions. I'm assuming the answer is going to be no, but I'll let her answer. So assuming the answer is no, the request, Your Honor, would be to confirm arrears.
Foreshadowing. And bro, you probably should have asked first, right? Assuming the answer is, and then he's gonna go through all this other shit. Foreshadowing. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I bet Brennan might be a good friend.
As of June 30th, and to Mr. Lee's credit, he's paid ahead on his child support, $443.98, and he's current on his medical. I imagine the court will waive court costs because of the fact that he was paid ahead. Requesting to start the new obligation July the 1st of 2024. Ms. Atha will testify to quarterly wages for 2024. And I calculate an annual total of $88,903.43 and a monthly gross of $7,408.62. So based on 2 children in, no children out, I'm requesting to upward modification to $1,394 on the child support and $333 on the medical. I believe Ms. Davis will testify that there's not coverage at reasonable cost, so would ask to keep the medical where it is. I believe she'll also testify that she's not aware of any other children that Mr. Lee has, so still 2 in, none out. And that's what I got, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So at this time, Ms. Atha has already been sworn in. So at this time, I ask Ms. Davis to raise her right hand, please. Ms. Davis, ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am, you're officially under oath. I'll go ahead and let the state call you as a witness, and we'll see how this one is going to go. Well, I'll let the state call your first witness at this time, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Ms. Atha, so you may proceed. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Atha has already been proven up as an expert and giving testimony previously
Sorry,
today,
that was
so
because of that's my blocking bar. I guess I didn't. It was over something else. Anyways, thank you.
she doesn't have to you have to go through that initial information. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for sparing me the step. I'll call Miss Atha. Miss Atha, will you state your full name, please?
Brianna Atha.
And were you able to conduct a wage investigation in this matter, Miss Atha?
Yes, I was.
And will you tell the court what you found?
So for Mr. Lee, I was able to find wages for the last 4 quarters for 2024. So for first quarter of 2024, I was able to find gross quarterly wages of $23,617.28. For the second quarter of 2024, it was $22,850.17. For the third quarter of 2024, it was $19,585.84. And then for the fourth quarter of 2024, it was $22,850.14.
Thank you, Miss Atha. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Davis, any questions of the CSO?
No, sir.
All right, may the CSO be excused, Mr. Diamond?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Atha. You're free to go, and I'll ask the state to call your next witness, please. Thank you.
Miss Davis, Your Honor. Ma'am, will you state your full name, please?
Melissa Davis.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Mr. Lee has made some allegation that one of your children lives with him. Is that correct?
Robert did start staying with him at the beginning of the year, but Robert has not been here. He's been out of town working, so I've still been having to go back and forth between my house and his for my son.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Run that by me again, please.
I let Robert go stay with his dad at the beginning of the school year, but Robert works out of town. I was thinking that he was going to be home. Robert works out. He works in different states, so he'd be gone. So I still have to go between my house and his because he's with Robert's girlfriend. So I still have to go back and forth.
Okay, that's kind of an unusual circumstance, ma'am. Is there a reason why why he's not living with you?
I asked Robert because he thought he was going to get stationed back in Texas. And that's when I made the decision that he could go stay with him, thinking that he was going to be home. But then they sent him back out again. He trains or does something for his job. I don't know what the nature of his job is, but he's always gone.
Okay. All right, but the child has been in his household, and you say living with his girlfriend?
Yeah, they've been together for a while, so I trust her to be there with him, but I still have to go back and forth and still do all the stuff. I still have to register his school stuff. I still have to do the things like doctor's appointments and all that. I still have to do all that stuff because Robert's not here.
All right, ma'am. And how often does he come into Texas? How often is he actually in the house with the child?
It depends. He just got back. He's here now. I don't know why he's not at court today. He just got back last week. He was gone for like a month or two.
All right, thank you. All right, the state may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, so let's talk about medical coverage. Do you have coverage available through your work at a reasonable cost?
No, I don't.
Would you be able to obtain coverage for your children through the marketplace at reasonable cost?
No, I already tried. I can't get it.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. All right, what's the state requesting on this one? Because again, this one's a little different, but
so I would ask the court to leave the medical, my request 333 on the medical. I would ask the court to accept that. I guess there's a couple of ways the court, well, there's probably a lot of ways the court could do this. I think the court could set child support based off of one in, none out, based off of one in, one out. So I guess my preference would be if the court selects one of those, I could run those numbers quickly, and I think we can still do a final order today. But I would ask the court to start the new obligation July 1st, which is the month after service on this one.
Right. Ma'am, how old's the child that's with him?
Robert just turned 15.
Okay. And how old's the child that lives with you?
Shania is 17. But they've been living with, I've been the sole custody and provider for them all this time. He literally just got him.
All right. Anything else from the state?
Actually, may I ask Ms. Davis a few more questions along those lines?
Yes, you may.
So let me ask you this. I mean, it sounds like even though he physically stays in his father's residence, it sounds like you're still the primary caretaker. Is that?
Yes, I am. I still have to do. That's what I told him. I said I sent him here to be with you, and you're not even here.
Okay, so who talks to the teachers if there's something
Me,
at school?
me,
Who makes doctor's appointments if your son needs
me,
a doctor? Dennis, is that you?
me. I'm everything.
Okay. Is he in sports or some kind of after school
Yes,
activities?
he's in sports. I go to his games and stuff like that for practice. His girlfriend is, because they live right around the corner. She picks him up from practice.
Okay. So does he do like club stuff too, or is it just at school?
Just school football. We were AAU, but now he plays for the actual school. But all that time, that was me. The whole 7 years he was in AAU, me, my pocket, my money, everything, me,
And you were the one taking him to tournaments, out of town, out of state, all that?
everything, me.
But he is paid up
Okay.
ahead on his child support. We got to give him credit. A little bit of credit.
I mean, I guess like buying clothes. Are you the one that takes him to buy clothes?
Yes, the only time that their dad buys clothes, he'll buy them a couple outfits for school, and then for Christmas to go back to school to show off their new stuff. Through the rest of the time, it's me. I'm providing their stuff. Me.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like your position is, even though he physically stays with the dad, you're still the one who's running the show, for lack of a more precise phrase.
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, man. What was the original reason for the child going to live with his dad?
I thought he was gonna be here, and I just felt like, I've been raising him all this time. I felt like, he's going to ninth grade. I felt like it was time for him to be around his dad because I thought he was gonna be here. And it's like a lot on me. I have 4 kids, so I thought, it was gonna be a good thing.
All right, then. Any other questions, Mr. Diamond?
Yeah, if I may, Your Honor, I guess were there safety issues? Were there disciplinary issues? Was
No,
this just a matter of
no.
preference for your son?
Yeah, my son, he's a good child. He's a good child. Financially struggling, yes, I was horribly, horribly. I've been horribly struggling financially. And so that was one of the reasons I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. So, I mean, apartment. So space financially. And then I just felt like as he's getting older, I felt like I just wanted him to be around his dad, but it's not like I'm still doing everything. I'm still having to do this.
Yes.
Okay, but here's the thing, William. That actually makes me so happy. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But also, I think that this is almost co-parenting. If it seems to me like this is just a good co-parenting situation. You don't have the space for him, but you live close enough so that you can handle some of this other stuff for him still. Dad works out of town, but he makes a great income. And that child support allows you to help support your other children as well as this one. So I guess I would argue that the child support should continue, maybe slightly reduced, but I'm feeling it's just a lot of whining tones. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hearing a lot of like fact giving as much as whining, and I don't like it.
Ma'am. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, then. What's the state requesting then, Mr. Diamond?
Um, Based on the testimony, Your Honor, probably the most fair thing to do would just be to set this up as one in, one out, and the child support on a one in, one out order would be $961.
Well, I'm not going to change custody because I don't have any affirmative request to do so. So right now, she's still the custodial parent. So I'm not crazy about doing one in, one out. What I'm looking at probably doing is going to go ahead and let's make this attempt. Let's go ahead and leave 2 in and let dad show up and see where this is going to go. But if mom's the one doing everything and she's the one that still has legal custody and she's still doing so much of this, then yeah, I'm not gonna do one in, one out without a change of custody, Mr. Diamond.
Well, Your Honor, I have no objection to the court doing 2 in, none out. So if a final order with 2 in and none out is possible, that'd be my request.
What's the
Yeah,
current
can I say
child support
something?
at? Just a second. What's the current child support at, Mr. Diamond?
It's low, Your Honor. This should have been modified a long time ago. Current obligation is 460 on the child support and 103 on the medical.
And at 2 in and none out, what's that going up to?
Your Honor, my request would be
What's the math? What's the math?
yeah, it's 1,300. No, that's wrong. Sorry, Your Honor. It is. I apologize. I didn't save my numbers. If I can have like 10 seconds, and I'll have that to the court.
No problem.
Did you see her head snap?
Yeah, I didn't save my screen. That's the. So, Your Honor, if assuming the 333 on the medical, 2 in, none out, $1,372.
Get that to me again, please. 1,000.
$1,372.
Okay. And what would it be with 1 in and 1 out? Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 in, 1 out. But yeah, what it would be with 1 in, 1 out?
$976, Your Honor.
That's going to change her life, this child support. Even with just one kid, but even 2. That's huge. $1,372? They really are pondering this one. They're thinking on it.
All right, then let's go ahead and this was, yeah, just like I said, it's so out of the ordinary. No matter what, mom's entitled to the $976 up and the upgrade, and that's from day one of the date of service on dad. So that's I'm sorry, let me check the motion.
Two children with dad who makes nearly $100K a year. I think we will see. If I can get this other video working. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it from there, hold on, and just move that over here so I can work with it while you guys will still watch this. I need to do something over here.
All right, Mr. Dunn, I'm gonna go ahead and make this attempt. I'm not gonna appoint an ad litem. It's just not worth it at this point. But I'm gonna go ahead and order temporary child support with 2 in and none out to start the first day of May, the 1,300 and change amount. I want to go ahead and set this as a temp. I want to set this up as a final within 45 days. I'll
sorry,
give Dad 45 days advance notice. Just check with Mom and see a date that's good for her to return and whether or not I may need to set this up for a special setting. I'm amenable to doing this for a special. But the bottom line is I'm looking at coming up with a final order, giving this gentleman the opportunity to come in. But right now, the only thing before the court is the motion dealing with the child support. There's not a motion to change custody. There's nothing along those lines. Ma'am, you have the absolute right to have that child live with you. It's left up to you how you want to handle this. You might want to go talk to an attorney just to see what you might want to do. But right now, it's gotten a little complicated because technically the child has been outside your household, sounds like for about 6 months. So that means technically Dad has the right to ask me for legal custody, but no one has asked me for legal custody. And it's the fact that Dad wasn't even there and for a great amount of that 6-month time frame, that could factor in whether or not he's entitled to get legal custody. Again, this one got a little bit strange on us. But the bottom line is I'm going to go ahead. Right now, there's not a change. There's not any type of motion before this court on a change of custody. I will go ahead and order the temporary child support amount to start the first day of May. And like I said, I'll let you talk with Mom and see whether or not y'all want this to set this up as a special setting. And I'll give you a special date in June. Give Dad notice of such. Because at the bare minimum, Mom will be entitled to retroactive child support. I'm sorry, a child support start date of the $900 and $976 as of the first day after service of citation. And I'm thinking it sounds like, well, here's the other complication, that for the first 3 months after citation, she would have been entitled to the $1,300 a month child support. And then after the child went to live with Dad, she would be entitled to $976 a month child support. So again, this one got really complicated very quickly with that move. But for right now, those are the circumstances I got to deal with. So based on that, and to give Dad the opportunity to come in and testify, because like I say, he should have been here, but he's not. This is Zoom. No matter where he is, he could have obviously appeared via Zoom, but he didn't. He did send in a letter, but that's not appropriate. There's no affirmative pleadings on file to do anything differently. So I'm going to go ahead and look at making this a temporary order starting the first day of June. I mean, the first day of May. And let me just go ahead and give a special setting date. I'm going to set this up as a special setting where I can finish writing this one up. So let me tell you, let's check with Mom and see what I got coming up. This is the 8th, so the 8th of June and 15 days past the 8th of May. So let's see what I got that last week of May.
Talk it out, Judge. Don't let me get a fucking word in edgewise.
So,
I got the other video.
May,
We're gonna make it work.
Special settings on the 28th, so that's not going to work. First week of June. Okay, that's the Thursday, but I've got CLE that Thursday. Way to go, Mike. Here we go.
Continuing legal education. That's what CLE is. Continuing legal education.
Belinda, right now I'm showing a general docket on the 10th of June. I'm thinking that should be and I'm sorry. Yeah, the 10th of June is the general docket. Looks like I've got.
Okay, hold on. I've just had a really, really good
already.
idea. Can I make a continuing legal education course? Oh, I think I can. That's all I'll say.
At 9:30 on the 11th and 1:30. So I got to 3:30. So I do have the 3:30 to 5 o'clock slot available on the 11th of June for a final hearing on this matter one way or the other. Ma'am, can you make that happen?
Yes, sir. Is that like this, or do I come out there to you all?
I'm sorry?
Is it on here or do I come back to y'all?
Oh, yeah, it's on Zoom, ma'am.
Okay, yes, sir.
It'll be on Zoom, and I'll make it at 3:30, and give it an hour and a half, and like I say, give Dad the opportunity, because, yeah, ma'am, there's some
He ain't gonna
legal
come home. He
questioning
don't do
about
that.
whether or not the father's actually entitled to unabated change of custody based on the fact that he, that he hasn't been with the child that entire time, but the child has been in his household, so technically he probably is entitled to it. But no matter what, ma'am, for right now, there's no pleadings for me to do that. The only pleadings I have are on the child support, and no matter what, I can modify the child support based on the circumstances, and I can give you a back date of child support based on the date of service. So I'm going to go ahead and look at doing a temporary order for starting at that full amount the first day of May, resetting this matter to June the 11th at 3:30 p.m. And giving notice to Dad. That's more than 45 days advance notice. So if he doesn't show up at this next hearing, then hey, you get to make the request as you want to, ma'am, and we'll see how it works out. But that's what I'm looking at doing. So, Mr. Diamond, anything else from the state? Anything else the state needs on this temporary order, sir?
I think I have it, Your Honor. If I could ask Ms. Davis to stick around after the hearing, I'll go through this with her.
Okay, then. All right, then, ma'am. Again, I'm going to go ahead and set this up as a temp. I hate to do it like this, but you've got some. I've been doing this 20-something years, and this has probably happened. Something like this has probably happened 2 times. So yeah, it's definitely unusual, ma'am. But again,
Yes,
we're
sir. I
going
will
to make
see what
sure
I've done.
you're entitled to what you're entitled to, and we're going to get that set up properly. But for right now, full child support for both kids starting the first day of May. Any questions, ma'am?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Diamond, anything else, sir?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, please hang around. Mr. Diamond wants to talk to you. Let's come up with the temporary order, and I'm gonna go ahead and make that Zoom code and get it out to him, to Ms. Walker, and she'll forward it over to him, and y'all can get the official Zoom code. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so then we go back to the other case, which I luckily was able to get properly. Oh no, the title. Shit. Where were we? We're like 15 minutes in. We'll go in about 15
Shaking your
minutes.
head or nodding, that doesn't.
Well, this is why it's gonna suck like this. So I need to go back.
Getting
hold
any
on.
financial support for the?
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, Paisley. Let's work our way through it. This will still work. Look it. It's beautiful. We fucking prepared for this. We prepared for this. There's just one button. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to like this long. I think this is good. If you don't know what's happened, we watched this earlier and then it got stuck. But now we should be good. And it's about to get crazy.
Safe. I
That's a
like
tool
I
to
said,
give you in the order, and it's not through the court. It's a private entity that provides it for free at a certain level if you want higher, better quality or whatever. I mean, it's still good. We use it all the time. People use it, tell me it's great. However, it's not the one you have to pay for. There's higher levels than that. So you would want that in the order.
yes, ma'am.
App close. However, again, he knows your email. Are you going to change it?
No, ma'am, it's my working email.
And if there's an emergency of some kind and you want to let him know about your child, you have his number?
No, ma'am, I don't have his phone number. I just have the same email that he's had for many years as well.
Well, I'll
And
just tell you
when
the same
the
email.
last time I did tell him about our son's medical diagnosis, like I said, the thing is, he'll verbally attack me. He blames my son's autism. He blames my son's ADHD on my parenting. I'm sorry.
Well, we know that's not true and that doesn't happen that way. However, I get that he's not being very nice.
Yeah, I just feel attacked anytime I try to reach out to him, even when it is an emergency about our son. I will call everybody else.
Well,
I will
even
get a hold of everybody else before him.
at any point in time, have you had to pick up the phone and call police?
I did when he actually brought a constable to my door to have me arrested for contempt, basically, of keeping the kids away from him. And the officer actually sided with me because he could tell he was on drugs that day. And the officer told me he still had to do his job and take me to jail. So I just asked the officer, can I get some shoes, And so I let the officer into my home so I could get some shoes on. And that's when Sal was jumping around on the porch, got into his car and just sped off. And the officer ended up saying, you know what? Well, if he's the reason I came out here to get the kids and he left, then I don't have a reason to be out here. And he just kind of left. And I was grateful for the cop being there. I mean, he brought the cop that day, but at that point, I was ready to call another cop to basically say, like, is this right? Is what is happening right? Like, am I really going to have to go to jail just for keeping the kids?
I don't
Because they
understand
had,
why usually the police do not get involved in civil matters, especially if there's no court orders. And if you had
yeah,
court
see, and they had the court order in hand that day. And I just complied and told myself, if I have to go to jail for keeping my kids away from someone who's abusing drugs, then I'll go to jail, because even at that, I'll leave my kids in
okay,
the care of my mom,
he knows your address, or he knew the address where he took the police officer to. Is that the same
Yes,
address you're
ma'am.
at now?
No, ma'am. I actually sold that mobile home the day that the around 3 months after. I left him 2 months after we changed the order, 3 months after, in fear of him coming back to retaliate. I sold that mobile home and left.
And since then, you have not provided your address?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Then what else did I want? He has your phone number, but you don't have his. Usually there's no non-disclosure on his information. If the state has it, they would publish it in the order that's gonna come out of this hearing. I assume you would want it if it's available.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I do know where he lives because, like I said, in a he is in a relationship with my cousin, and my family still sees him and knows about him. So my family is my biggest help when it comes to this case, because they're the ones who have been able to obtain his address and all that stuff.
Okay. So he did scare you enough to go to your house with the police officer, and he has scared you in other ways. And the only reason he hasn't to date is because you didn't let him. He doesn't know your address.
Yes,
Correct.
ma'am.
Okay. And then, but he has your email and phone number. Is there any reason to not disclose those? If you're not going to change them, he already has them?
No, ma'am, it's totally fine with me for him to have those. I feel like he knows that I would show, I would show you, Judge, if I did have something, in words. And I
Okay.
think that, he does know that. He's not
And there's
dumb.
no prior non-disclosure, and I forgot what date you told me the last order was, or any prior orders, the establishment order?
No, ma'am. After I kicked him out of my house, and, the 2 months prior to that, I had taken him off child support, I just let it at that. I just let
Let it go.
life be life, and I let it go. But at this point, I'm trying to pick it all up so I can see what I can do for my son.
Judge,
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
number 12 fell off and it looks like she's back in. They might have to move her.
Okay, Ms. Alvarez, you want to admit her and take care of business? That would be fine. Let's take a short break. We're still here.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank
So
you.
now they have to deal
And
with
Judge,
this
when you're
lady.
done asking Ms. Olivares your questions, I have just
Sure.
about one more line of questioning for her.
Also,
I
I
would
got
allow
the
that,
joke,
yes.
William. No big deal.
Okay, Miss Sabrina,
My
you're gonna see
daughter
it pop
is,
up. I'm
in
gonna send you
fact,
back to
a
that
good,
room
good,
that you're in. If you can just go ahead and click
kid.
join.
I think
You're telling me Zoom can't figure out how to do this in the back of the
Thank
Okay.
court?
you.
Since we do everything through this screen on in the courtroom, sorry for that break, but we had to do that. Okay, Ms. Olivares, what else did I want to ask you? Well, you know what this is about. It's modifying your child support to some amount, not zero, and then taking an arrears. Has he ever you said he has never given you any money or anything that would be considered child support in hand?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then Ms. Nichols, any follow-up?
yes, Ms. Olivares, does Mr. Ramos have other children?
I'm one that I know of, that we think may be his child that lives with him.
So the child lives with him.
This is where it gets
Yes.
crazy. Buckle the fuck up, you guys. Buckle the fuck up.
But Are there any child support orders for that child?
There is no child support order. His only biological son is Jarrett Ramos.
Um,
Established legal.
Established, yes, established legally.
has there ever, for that other child who lives in them, has there ever been, like, do you know if there's ever been a DNA test?
No, ma'am, I don't believe there's any DNA test done.
Okay. Is there any reason you might have to think that that's not his child?
Yes, he has a twin brother, an identical twin brother, whom my cousin was also sleeping with at the same time that she was sleeping with Salvador Ramos. And the belief is that she will not get a paternity test because either way, the paternity test will say that both fathers are the father since they share the same zygote DNA, is what we've been told. And they'd have to pay for extensive DNA testing. So they don't know if that child is actually the twin brothers or Salvador Ramos.
Anything else, Ms. Nichols?
Nothing further.
Just out of curiosity, do you, the mother lives in the house with him too, and not just him with the child, correct?
No, ma'am, it's the mother, him, and the child.
Are there any other children that she has that are not him?
No,
And do you have any clue that, or has your family told you that he acts like the father? He says he's the father, he takes the child out, okay, or not?
no, I honestly don't know. I just know what people tell me,
And then the confusion with the twin brother. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And he's very involved in the life as well, the twin brother. So it's even harder to determine
Of
what's
that
really
child
going on.
involved in the life of the child?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll stop. Nichols, okay, we need to let somebody back in, I think. Ms. Alvarez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Uncle Daddy.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna send you back to that breakout room that you were in. If you can just go ahead and click join.
Sabrina, you are fucking
Okay.
the vibes.
Thank you.
Do you know how much editing I'll have to do?
Okay. I guess I still need to hear some numbers, both on the modification, the guideline amount, on what I assume minimum wage and or the arrears. And I was gonna look up, I never got a second email from you that would have
Oh, you didn't? Let me see.
the citation. Did you send it to a different email address or the same one
Oh my God, I sent it to myself.
that?
Alright, hold on, let me
That's
send it to
okay,
you.
that answers that question.
Your Honor, I think the Sabrina's she came back. Give me 1 second.
Okay, she's still in the courtroom.
So, ma'am, if you tap on your screen, you should see 4 squares that say breakout rooms. Give me 1 second. Let me resend it to you.
I think I'm in it.
Right now you're in the main session in a hearing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna send you back.
What is the trashiest title for this case that we should think of? Put
If
your
you
guesses
resent
in
the email,
chat.
Ms. Nichols, it
Twin
takes usually half a
daddies?
minute to a minute
What-
to get
What is
through.
the trashiest title?
So if you want to start talking as far as
Sure, I'll give you a closing. So child support should be based on minimum wage since we don't have any evidence of the NCP's income. State is requesting a $50 cash medical support payment and that the child remain on government medical services. If the, I had the numbers down. If the court can, I mean, we're not sure for certain if if NCP actually has another kid. But the child does live in the house with him. So let me,
Given
so
that there's a brother that could possibly be the father and they haven't taken it to court themselves or figured it out between them, I'm not going to give them credit.
so with a credit for $50 cash medical support payment based on minimum wage, his child support would be $222 a month. Arrears judgment taken as of March 31st, 2025, that's $139.37. The state is requesting a $20 payment plan amount or payback amount per month.
So he didn't know very much, or it just it's very little, $139.37 of arrears
That's correct.
with a zero, I guess. So whatever he owed from before the modification of zero. Still
Yeah, and
has
actually, I actually suppose that we could, because we can modify to February.
Well, yeah, I'm still waiting on a citation, but you said he got served January 2nd, so we could backdate it to first. Yes, I would allow that.
Did you
That's
get it
all.
now? No.
No,
I'm
it didn't come through. I still have
I'm sorry. I'm gonna send a separate email. I promise I'm more tech savvy than this, but
Okay, Mary.
it's not a problem.
Crazy
okay,
case though, hey?
here we go.
I don't know. There was only like
I just
4
sent it.
people
So in that case, if
watching.
we modify back to February, then we would take a child support judgment as of January 31st. $47.83. Still a $20 payback amount is appropriate. And then start support, medical support and child support and arrears payment on no. Child support and medical support would start February 1st. And then arrears payment would begin May 1st. Am I wrong about that?
No, that's the way I like to do it. I can
Okay.
retroactively start the support under the law, but it would
Yeah, right.
payments he didn't know about 3 months ago.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
Correct. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so child support $222, medical support $50 beginning February 1st, 2025. Judgments taken as of January 31st. And then that $20 payment monthly begins May 1st. In regard to the money issues, I think that's all.
Okay, let me look at the citation real quick. I did get it by email. It does have the file mark on January 16th. I think that's what you told me of this year. It's been on file more than 10 days, and the citation does show that he was served with the modification to, and confirmation. Served in San Marcos, January 2nd, 2025. I think you told me that as well. It is signed by deputy. And it looks to be complete. Okay, so I'll take notice that he was served. And then you did send me the notice so that you sent him.
Hearing notice. It's in the same email as the service document.
Yes, I'll take judicial notice that it was sent, giving him notice of this virtual proceeding with the right information on there. And okay.
Google made me laugh so much. It's
April 8th
gobble,
at
and I'm
10:30.
laughing, but we have to
Okay.
add Google now too.
The next one would be the pay record that you sent earlier. So now I don't see an
Google.
I-
When you're
so this was
hold on. Google should be something like when your cousin fucks twins, your baby daddy and his twin. When your cousin fucks your baby daddy and his twin, that's a Google. That's a Google. All right? When your cousin fucks your baby daddy and your twin and his twin, that's a Google. Hi Rose. That's a Google. Oh, that's rare. Do you know how hard that would be if you got Google on your bingo card? Tough get.
So sorry, I sent you like 4 emails. This was the email that I sent at 12:10.
Okay. There's something wrong with it because it shows a different time, which is not possible, but I'm telling you, I don't see an attachment to it.
Okay, let me just send another email.
Let me try. I thought I was in the right one. Yes, I am. It's not there. The first one had the 2 exhibits, the notice of the virtual proceeding and the citation.
Let me just send this right now.
Well, the other thing you can do, I'm going to take your word for it and either attach it to the back of the order and I'll see it then, or you'll send it and I get it and I'll look at it while I sign it.
I just sent it and it's the title is pay record.
Okay, gonna take another half minute. Okay, on the issues that Also before the court, the last two are non-disclosure and court cost. Do you have a position on the court costs, Ms. Nichols?
Um, uh, um, yeah, court costs should be billed against the non-custodial parent.
Okay, we usually give a year in this county, is that,
That's correct.
so I will order court cost, due April 8th of 2026. With the clerk to bill him, and then on the non-disclosure, having heard what I've heard, I think I will grant the non-disclosure finding with the exception, on Ms. Olivares' information, with the exception of the phone number and the email address, so they can still communicate. And do, put the app close communication in there as well. You know, it takes two people to use it for it to work, so it's there, you can download it. If you ever talk to him and he wants to communicate with you, you can entice him by telling him you'll send pictures or school records or whatever you want to send him through.
Yes, ma'am. I will definitely send him an email with that today.
The order will have it as well. It'll tell you how to download it and all that. Okay, I will grant that. On the math and on minimum wage, I'll grant all the requests made with the start dates as requested and the arrears as requested, with the payout as requested without repeating it. Anything else, Ms. Nichols?
No.
Then this will be the order of the court. I'm rendering the order as a default against Mr. Ramos for not being here today. And just as a last aside, do you know why he didn't come? Did y'all talk about that at all?
Oh, this is the fucking cream on the top of the fucking crop, you guys. Creme de la creme. Okay, can anybody guess what she is gonna say about him not coming to court? I want guesses in the chat. We're gonna take a minute because this is the end of our night. She's gonna say something here. I want you to get today, why he today did not appear in court. What is she going to say? Now, these are, it's incredible. And it's not been guessed yet. I'll just tell you guys that. Nothing right so far. I don't think anybody's gonna guess what it is, and we'll let it play in a moment. But thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. We've had such a good night. We worked through some problems together. We hung out. You know, I'm looking pretty good. I think I should take some pictures for my dating profile. Am I coming on tomorrow? Vicky, that's a good question. If I do, it'll be in the morning. Early in the morning. Thruple twins. There you go, Carol. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see what she says. Let's see what she says.
Well, I know that he's right outside. He lives at the same building that my friend lives in, an apartment complex, and she said she could see him outside smoking a cigarette, just hanging out.
But you don't know why he didn't bother to show up
No,
to
ma'am.
log in from any device anywhere. No, he didn't want to.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Then the state doesn't have any information that he called in with any emergency type of situation.
Let me take a look.
There's the pay record.
Mm,
Mm,
Oh, we have no. We called him to remind of this hearing. He didn't answer.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured, but I thought I'd ask anyway. Okay, he did make some payments. He's made over $4,300 in payments. However, that's for medical support that probably went to the Attorney General because the child's on the government program, Ms. Olivares.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you would not have gotten that. Now we can order child support. Well, there's hope. I guess, was it by income withholding, Ms. Nichols? But you can't do that anymore. I mean, it's
It was by income withholding.
it's as recent as February 7th of this year, so maybe.
We have reasons to believe that he lost his job mid-January. Yeah.
Okay, well, sorry. I was trying to give you some hope, but if unless they find a salaried position where they can take it out of his paycheck, if he's doing odd jobs and getting his own,
That's okay, Judge. This is the best hope I have for myself too, just getting him back on his obligations, his responsibilities,
Well, this is the first step, ma'am, yes, and then you can talk to the AGs later about what else you can do, but for right now, I will grant all the requests. Then I'll take judicial notice of the January 31st arrears, and that would be the $47.83. That's correct. Okay, state's going to draft the order. It's going to come in, and it's probably seen it before through the office, Texas Office of the Attorney General. So open that email. That's this proposed order out of today's hearing. You can review it for me and sign off on it and send it. It's all electronic. Send it back pretty quick. I get it quicker. However, I give them a week to get it turned in. So they haven't heard from you by next Thursday. Excuse me, today's Tuesday. By next Monday, then I'll be getting the order the next day, a week from today, so that I can sign it with or without your signature. Okay, Ms. Olivares?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You do have the right to review it and see if you have any questions or concerns or see any mistakes. You call the AG to resolve them or sign it. Okay, then let me let you go, ma'am. All you have to do is click the end meeting, leave meeting buttons, and you're done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you and your child.
You guys are
Thank you.
savage. I love it though. So fucking fun.
Miss,
Oh,
hold on a minute. Ms. Olivares has exited the virtual courtroom. That'll conclude this hearing. Let me start my recordings with the live stream going first.
She cuts us off, she cuts us off, and that's the end, that's the end. Oh, my goodness. What a case, what a case, what a case. Seriously. Seriously, what a lot of fun. I think we will go live tomorrow, but it'll be in the daytime, before 1 o'clock Pacific, well before that. So, Courtney, I can't. I have to go pick up my Walmart order. I have to. I really wish I didn't. I know, I wish we did too, Cellulite Yoga Pants. I fucking really wish we did too. But I don't set the stages. I don't create this. I mean, I do in a sense, but I don't, like, via AI and then plug it into a very sophisticated computer program that imitates and deepfakes people and judges in courtroom settings to my personal whim, like a puppeteer. Okay? Where each and every case is specially crafted for my own sick reasons. No, I don't do that. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. And guess what? Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Remember that I love you. And I'm proud of you. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye. Oh my God, go with pasta. Pasta for dinner. Love you. Bye.
Wisdom.